Hi, I'm James and welcome back to the channel if you've been here before. Today we're going to look at Battlefront Team Yankee box set, the all plastic LAV platoon, which contains 5 vehicles. So let's see what we've got. Okay, so opening the box. It's quite crammed, there's a fair bit in here. What have we got first? Let's have a look. We've got the Team Yankee cards and the decals, which are the standard Battlefront ones. We've got the standard 6 American tank commanders, and we've got 2 crew for the mortar version. Now unfortunately that is going to limit us when we actually build the vehicles. It's really 1 mortar crew unless you go out and buy some extra figures from somewhere. We've then got the 5 standard sprues for LAV 25s, and then we've got 2 extra sprues which actually have got an awful lot of M113 variant bits in, because they're going to use the tow launchers which are identical to the ones on the M901. So let's actually have a look at what I've put together. Now I do apologise for the quality of the pictures. The flash on the camera has made them look far more garish than they actually look. They actually look quite reasonable in normal light. Now one trick I did cotton on to was the fact that it's quite easy to build the vehicle with separate hull tops and make them removable. It's not perfect because they don't sit perfectly. I'll probably look at adding magnets at some point to them, but what it means is you can increase the number of variants that you use. Might be useful to you, might not. So the first version we have is the standard LAV 25. I've added the optional machine gun on the pintle mount. This one's painted up in the NATO 3 colour, because I also intend to use this as the ASLAV variant, which is the Australian one, because it will tie in nicely with the MRVs that I've picked up as well. Next we have the LAV AA, which is the anti-armour version. Now this one I did find it was necessary to stick the turret on, because it is a bit unstable otherwise. You can see the slight gap at the top of the hull. I think I'm going to have to magnetise them. The last real life variant is the LAV M, mounting an 81mm mortar, although they have been tested and rated for the 120mm mortar. This is slightly awkward in the sense that you can't really have the hull as an alternate because of the height of the mortar and the crew. It is annoying, as I said earlier, that they've only included 2 crew figures. It actually has a crew of 3 manning the mortar. I'm assuming the final one is at the rear of the hull, loading charging the rounds ready to pass them forward. I can live with that. You could easily pick up extra crew figures if you did want more mortars. The turret that was left over from this one, you can see has been used elsewhere. I've used it on the M115, which you can see a separate video about, which is a fictional variant of the M113 from Twilight 2000, although there were some real life prototypes. This is the first fictional version from Twilight 2000, the LAV PIVAD, Product Improved Vulcan Air Defence System. I've assumed that GDW, when they were writing it with the cancellation of the Sergeant York, decided that the 20mm Vulcan would probably continue in service, and therefore fitted it to the LAV, which makes sense. There is a LAV AD, Air Defence variant, which is subject to a separate model kit by Battlefront, which has a 25mm cannon and 2 pods of Stingers, although the prototypes did actually have half of them replaced with Hydras. The final variant is quite an interesting one. It's the MPGS 90. Now this was developed by GDW as an option. There were trials done by the US Marines where they used 3 different weapons. They used the 75mm Ares cannon, they used the 90mm Cockerel, and they used 105mm M68. None of these particularly worked, and eventually in real life they were replaced by a low pressured 105mm gun, but that was then never taken into service. The version that GDW used the 90mm gun. Now looking at it, it does look remarkably like the 75mm Ares, which conveniently I had one left over from converting the M115, and if you see the link above you can jump to that. So this is probably my favourite variant model, just for how different it looks. Now, regular viewers of the channel will know that when I'm gaming larger scale actions, I tend to use the rules 7 Days to the River Rhine by Roger Garish, published by Great Escape Games, because they're great for playing the larger Twilight 2000 style battles. Some of the units that we've talked about are already covered in this, but what I've done is added a few extra unofficial statistics in for the vehicles I've talked about, and also one or two variants as well which haven't necessarily been featured. For example, I've added the one for the Saudi Arabian National Guard version of the LAV with the 90mm low pressure gun. Hope you find these useful. Remember, they are unofficial, so you need your opponent's agreement to use them. And let me know what you think of them. Any feedback, gratefully accepted. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you can actually keep up to speed with what's going on and all the new videos I'm bringing out shortly. See you soon.